I mean, how do I describe it? It's
bold,
A light.
black,
unapologetically black.
Very funny, amusing,
Caring.
You give great advice from a different perspective. Passionate,
free.
vulnerable,
A creative.
sexy.
My girl is lit as fuck.
Always ready to twerk a little something.
genuine, very genuine,
resilient.
like sixth sense, otherworldly. If you know, you know.
It's so vibrant, baby. Hello, everyone, and welcome to So Vibrant, the place where music, history, and culture collide. I am your cultural storyteller and award-winning host, Lady AC. I ain't gonna hold you because we're gonna just get right on into it because today is a special, amazing day because So Vibrant officially turns 1, y'all. Yes, it is my 1-year anniversary of podcasting, of being a content creator, podcaster. Just like the saying goes, like, time flies when you having fun. Can't begin to describe how creating this podcast, producing and editing and just all the hats I wear when it comes to creating So Vibrant have been definitely a life altering, changing, healing experience that I don't take one for granted and couldn't have even imagined how this year would have been. So literally the first Saturday of November 2024, I published my very first episode. There was a lot of expectation of just, I'm out here. I am proving myself because a lot of what I started So Vibrant for was to honestly prove so many people that I could still do it. I was trying so hard to break into an industry that continued to tell me I wasn't ready. That I wasn't at this level, that I had potential. Oh, I resented that phrase. I had all the potential, but no one gave me that shot or that chance. And I just remember telling myself that, all I need is that opportunity. All I need is that yes in this sea of no's that I was getting. And it just clicked one day that I got to be my first yes. I have to be the door that I was looking for. And I had to bust that thing wide open. And I did. An award-winning podcast a year later, Every no was a redirection to where I'm supposed to be. And this is where I'm supposed to be right now. So for today's episode, we're going to celebrate all about that today. And of course, I have to do it my way by giving you an amazing musical break. The musical breaks of So Vibrant are so intricate to the content of the podcast because, of course, my tagline of music, history, and culture colliding. But music is such an important part of not only my story, but just my connection. Because when I started in radio, I moonlighted as a DJ and playing different songs and really showcase a lot of different sounds and a lot of things that I personally feel should be played 24/7 or should have a higher audience or should be exposed to more people. Because one of the questions or honestly statements I keep getting is, girl, where you get this music from? Or who is this? I never heard of this. Where you got this song from? And it was over just being a DJ, learning from other DJs who are amazing in the Atlanta scene that I still connect with today, and just being exposed to all these different artists through them, or going to different events and meeting different artists and hearing their sounds, and just really showing how beautiful especially this black music is. and not letting what the mainstream or the capitalistic greed of the industry tries to sell us and promote us. Because no, there are artists out here really giving us what we're missing, what we're needing, really creating a feeling that we can connect to. And so I wanted to carry that into the podcast. So regardless of maybe I have to kind of play a line so that way I'm not taking nobody's work, but it genuinely is coming from a place of appreciation. It's our first musical break, celebrating our 1-year anniversary. Be right back.
Your loving, but I don't wanna get in your way. Some say I'm not strong enough, but you know I'm here to stay.
Have you ever known a girl like me?
Yeah. Give me something, cause I don't wanna wait no more. Think you're bad enough, but I told you once before.
Have you ever loved a girl like me?
I'll be whatever you want. Whatever you need, do you wanna?
Can't be coming every time I'm back in town. You know I want you, babe. Can't be slowing me down.
I have never known a girl like you, yeah.
Through you, see into your soul. Keeps me coming back when I'm scared to give you. Gotta be honest, but I've never seen a guy like you. So persistent in the things you do. Boy, I'll try to give my best to you. All that you want, all that you need.
Whatever you want, whatever you need. Do you wanna? Whatever you want, whatever you need. Do you wanna? Whatever you want, whatever you need. Do you wanna? Feeling for you, girl. I need you here. No one want you, babe. Let me be there when I'm sure you that I'm for your love. I don't fuck around. Whatever you want, whatever you need. Do you wanna? Whatever you want, whatever you need. Do you wanna? Whatever you want, whatever you need. Do you wanna? Whatever you want, whatever you need. Do you wanna? Whatever you want, whatever you need. Do you wanna?
Woo! Okay now. And that was Dornik featuring Gavin, Turek with Do You Wanna? And that was definitely one of my favorite songs. I used to play on the air all the time when I was in radio. And when I say I would wear that song out and just be jamming in that and dancing in that studio all by myself, but having a grand old time, like that song, just such high energy, such high connection. Because today I am celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Soul Vibrant. Ugh, my goodness, y'all, 1 year already? Like, oh man, And what makes me so proud to meet this 1 year milestone is when you honestly look at the statistics on when it comes to podcasting and just that media space. Even though it does feel like everybody and their grandma got a podcast right now, when you really look at statistics of that, just to make a very powerful educated guess, because the statistic and numbers of it tend to fluctuate and change depending on where you look, but it's estimated that as of right now of 2025, there are 4.5 million podcasts. According to podnews.net, 90% of those podcasts don't even make it past 3 episodes. So then you look at that 10%. But of that 10%, 90% of that only have 20 episodes. So when you reduce that and add those numbers, it roughly gives you a figure of 600,000 podcasts that are considered active. And there are so many reasons for that. Being real transparent, being real honest with you guys, it's hard in these podcast streets. This really does take work and dedication and time. And according to this very same article that I'm looking at by podnews.net, the top 3 reasons a lot of people fall short or those statistics happen when it comes to podcasting is because, for one, the time, because it is time consuming. You got to find time to edit. You got to find time to record. If you do interviews, you got to be able to schedule and coordinate, and then be able to make sure your equipment is properly working and properly charged. You got enough batteries. You got your tripods and everything like that. And then of course, you still, if you're working a 9 to 5 or you have another job to support yourself until your podcast pop up, you got to find time within that. So that one knocks out a lot of people. The next one is burnout, which is we're seeing in every other industry of people just working consistently, trying to be consistent, trying to stay on top of everything that they're dealing with. But sometimes life just gets in the way and it gets exhausting. I can admit to that. There are some things, it's like, even though I love what I'm doing, I love what I'm talking about, there's some days you're like, I got to record this episode after the day I had. I got to edit. I got to be up all night. Oh, shoot, I forgot to wake up to do this. So now I got to spend all burning the midnight oil to get this done. So you go through those moments, but then the very last one that I don't think a lot of people acknowledge is the despair that comes with making content or being a content creator, especially in the podcast arena, is of those 600,000 podcasts, you see those getting the endorsements, getting the notoriety, making the money in some cases. And then there are some platforms who are in that realm that you see are just doing clickbait or rage bait or constantly stirring up controversy or in some cases hatred, and are just spewing propaganda and all these kind of things. But then on the other end, you're looking at your content, you're looking at what you're doing, and you're seeing the slow numbers, you're seeing, you're trying to still reach people, and it feels like you're talking to this void. You're not getting the comments, you're not getting the likes, you're not getting, the traction that you thought you would be getting. And so in that, it creates this element of just doubting yourself, doubting what you're doing. And as a result, some people do fall or succumb to that. And I can be honest, that is very easy to fall into that trap, because I have. There were days where I felt like, is anybody listening? Do people hear me? Am I just out here talking, you know? And then you'll watch, you know, you're not supposed to compare yourself, but being human, that tends to happen. And you know you're being authentic. You know you're being real to yourself. You know you're putting in the research and the work. But then you see people who literally just sit on a mic and talk shit. And they just go far, it seems like, you know. Honestly, what I did have to learn was to trust what I was doing, to follow my own intuition, my instincts, and to understand why are the reasons I started this. Can I look further and see a brighter, better picture past that? And I'm so glad I had that mindset. On top of, I had people also in my corner encouraging me to keep going too. Because that does help to have people who cheer you on from the sidelines, who speak into you and uplift you and see what you're bringing and the quality that you have. When it came to even creating Soul Vibrant, it was an ideal in my head for so long. It was just an idea. But yet I had so many loved ones around me saying, you can do it. You need to make this. Why haven't you made a podcast yet? I miss hearing you on the radio. So go do it. I remember when I stopped radio and I was just working, trying to work. And I was running into people who actually heard me on the radio saying, you need to do that again. Like, we miss you. Like, we miss that. You have a great voice. Why don't you just do it? And I was so caught up in my own version of burnout, my own version of despair, that, you know, I didn't see the idea ever happening. But I'm so glad that I did listen to those people. I did finally listen to my own intuition and was just like, you know what, take a chance. Start where you are. Start with what you got and do it. And I did. And here I am a year later. Just still consistent, still authentic, still genuine to the content that I know I wanted to do. So I thought it'd be fun to see exactly how far I've come. Because, you know, they say in order to know where you're going, you have to know where you've been. So I want to go all the way back. I mean, all the way back. Season 1, episode 1. And listen to that lady AC of 2024. How she sound and what she was getting into. So check this out. So my very first reason is it establishes your identity. You get to define and question and break down and understand and change and grow what it means to be you. A lot of the thoughts and things that will motivate me, especially during that period when I stepped away from the mic, had absolutely nothing to do with me. These were voices from outside people, from family, from some called friends at the time, from different experiences I had. What I do, I tend to ask myself a lot of questions. I'm a journalist. Hey, we got to get that source, get to that source. I ask myself a lot of questions and I break down and I analyze. And in that process, I'm like, do I really believe this? This is really my thought? Is this really who I am? You know, and I kept asking myself that until I got rid of and literally separated and divested from a lot of those thoughts and really start to piece together what my identity is. On another end, it's very hard to kind of deal with that, especially when we live in a society that on the flip end also is so obsessed with labels. Now, not in the way that, you know, because there are people walking around like, I don't believe in labels, or labels aren't a thing, or labels or the personal favorite line, you know, everything's a construct. And they say that to sound smart, but they don't go any deeper than that. And the reality of that is, while you don't believe in it, society's going to give you them labels regardless. So my thought was, why, if I'm already going to get these labels, why not make sure that they're correct? Why not make sure that that is what I am? That part of the healing journey became is establishing my identity and understanding that, hey, I like media. Hey, I want to do a podcast. Hey, I am a storyteller. I am a journalist. I am beautiful. I am black. I am fat. I am unapologetic. I am like all these different things. I can be unqualified sometimes. I can be flawed sometimes. I can be hard headed sometimes. Like, those were the things I learned to accept about myself and assign them to myself and walked in them and owned them. So yeah. And when you start to walk in that and you deal with that and you move, that moves to the next point. My next why, which is it solidifies your humanity. Ooh, my goodness, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. Gotta be very transparent. I was a little cringe. I'm over here cringing because the Virgo in me is like, oh girl, did you edit your audio? Did you even try? Oh, that mic. Oh, my first mic. Oh, the little static in the background. Oh, I'm so glad I learned how to get rid of that. But still, in that moment, I remember that episode because I was diving back deep into my healing journey at that time. Because it's one thing to go through it, but then to actually hear yourself and to see yourself move through that sense. Because I remember that girl. And I was dusting myself off after just years of just feeling like I couldn't do it. And here she is, strong and ready to step out, regardless of how that microphone sounded. Regardless of her editing skills wasn't the best back then, or me saying the dreaded and them pauses and the ums. Ugh. Growth, y'all. Growth. You heard it. I hear it. Amazing. But I'm so proud of her because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. Soul Vibrant served as a counter to the anti-intellectualism, to the propaganda machine that was making people susceptible to misinformation and disinformation, to be opposite of the clickbait and the rage bait and the anger and just the confusion that a lot of what we see in media of any kind that was happening. Because it's one thing to be upset and talk about it and to raise awareness and saying that it's there, but I felt that, well, why don't we, in response, create platforms, create information, create new ways of thinking for other people to have something to fall on and to counter what was happening. So for me, Soul Vibrant's mission was to kind of be a digital archive or a preservation of thought, of the oral tradition, of the oral history. And of course, it was also born out of the fact that I was just tired of people dissing oral history. Just being honest. And the oral tradition of just audio. Look, I get it. People want to see your face. They want to watch videos. But for me, it just felt more ancestral, more of a deeper connection, because that's how we, especially as Black folks, got a lot of our history, a lot of our documentation came through the word of mouth. So I wanted to honor that and to uplift that part. I'm not against showing my face or having videos, but I really wanted to show the importance of just how powerful our voices are. So I'm so proud of the fact that throughout my podcast, I was able to talk about a variety of different topics and perspectives, and able to interview and meet so many different people who not only were professionals of their own right, but also very knowledgeable of the different topics that I cover. And if you know one thing about So Vibrant, the most important thing was the interviews. I had the amazing honor of interviewing so many different voices of professionalism and expertise on the variety of topics that I covered throughout my podcast. And if that is one thing I am looking forward to in the future and years to come of doing So Vibrant, is I want more interviews. I thought it'd be fun to give you a beautiful complication of some of my favorite interview moments throughout this year of So Vibrant, and see if you can hear some familiar voices. Also, listen out for the ancestors that chose to pop up too within my episodes. Check this out.
And across the creek, you go up a hill that we call Blueberry Hill.
They come all in Atlanta and everywhere else. They know what Blueberry Hill was. they didn't go swimming when they first got down there. They went on down through there by where the concession stand was, cross that break and come on up that hill, and you be right back there then. Someone go out through there, make them a pallet. Lay there and get suntan. We go there. They were getting down.
You know, my cousin, Sarita was older than me. I had a cousin, Linda Pitt. You know Linda Pitts? Mm-hmm. And I would be with Linda Pitt down there. I see them going up the hill when they let me. I go halfway up. I remember that ditch. Oh, did you? See them going up the hill. I remember one time we were there. Linda Pitt, I was with Linda. Linda went up the hill. I went up the hill calling, Linda! Linda looked at me, get back down the hill, get back. And if they wasn't up that hill, it used to be a swing way over there in the back. Right in the bushes. Yeah. That's what they'll be at too. It's a swing way back there in them bushes. I remember when I got my first kiss at Mac Miller Park. Child, I was messing with some little boy I shouldn't have, but I thought I was in love, girl. We went on up to Blueberry Hill and followed the little lights they had, strung up there in the middle of the park near a jukebox. He propped me up near a pole or something or another and stroked my face, then leaned in. All kinds of thoughts ran through my head, mostly hoping my rouge wasn't too much. Then I felt the lips touch his and woo child, I felt like a woman. If I knew then what I knows now, I wouldn't have gave that joker much credit. But at the time, that kiss meant everything to me. Still does, hell.
I keep hearing about that Blueberry Hill. What's the explain for the folks. What is the Blueberry Hill?
Blueberry Hill is like if you put it like you sneaking off to be with your boyfriend.
Okay.
That's exactly what it was.
Okay.
And you see a lot of couples go there, they sitting and talk. You get trained to spend time with your friends.
Right.
And they call it Blueberry Hill because everybody it spread it out like blueberries. They just you got a couple here and a couple there, and then sometimes people just up that city. Sometimes they have the picnic, up in there, but most of the time it was like a couple thing,
That's where a lot of older kids went and made out.
He said it did, body. And why y'all couldn't go on the hill?
I hope they won't let us go up there and see them hanky. And we wasn't going there. Y'all going there, them dead folk.
Yeah, go up there.
Yeah, that's how they scared us from going up.
Like the little kids and stuff. Okay.
I think my age, I remember being younger.
Okay.
Back in the day, your folks didn't allow you to be with no guys, no boys, like they is now.
Right.
You had to almost sneak and talk to these guys and make sure you got your mom. Them they ain't watching you up on Blueberry Hill, cause you supposed to be somewhere else, but you up there talking to this boy. You know,
Right.
You get you and do a lot of, you know. It was quite interesting.
R&B album come out, and they're like, I don't want to do R&B. I want to be a pop star. I want to be a rock star. And I kind of hate that, you know, R&B gets slighted. So how do you feel about that, or explain that?
I think nowadays, because basically what I talk about in the book, because it's less in the public eye, it's less on the charts. You don't see it very many. You don't see very many R&B acts like on. Well, we don't have MTV anymore, but it's just they're more like pop acts. And you know, like we'll take Beyonce. She's an extreme example, but you know, she came up as an R&B singer. Then she went to pop. Now she's in country, so that's okay. And then she'll come back to R&B. So I just think that because it's not in the public eye a lot, people have forgotten just how strong of a foundation, how strong of a genre is. And maybe people don't want to be labeled as an R&B singer because they have the perception that R&B is kind of falling out of favor, falling out of style. But it's there. It's underneath everything. It's there. It's kind of like a quiet storm. It's still growing there. So I just think that it's perception. And now there's so many different subgenres and things that people just don't want to choose this one. But as much as they and some artists will fight to not be classified as an R&B act, when it comes time for the tour and when it comes time for the album and when they need people to buy and support them, well, they're going to come back home. And when I say home, that means they're going to come back home to the R&B fans.
Exactly. Because that's where it is. That's where
It's
it
where
is.
it is.
You know,
Yes.
I made
We're loyal.
We're
loyal.
to that. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
100%. And so, and I love how you kind of snuck that in there about the quiet storm, because that definitely is a subculture of itself when it comes to R&B. And that's also the title of your book that you put out back in February.
Yes.
Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And the quiet storm. So just to iterate that, if anybody ever haven't heard of the quiet storm, what does that quiet storm feel when it comes to R&B?
So Quiet Storm. So there's a whole segment of radio back in the mid '70s that was started in Washington D.C. WHUR, Melvin Lindsay, and it was just designed after dark to play love songs, slow jams, take some dedications, and the primary groups that they featured were R&B groups from the '60s, '70s, and then the '80s as it continued to mature, and that's the concept. It spread worldwide. Almost every station in the country had a Quiet Storm segment from about the mid '70s to 1999. Then when it got to 1999, the hip hop kind of really started to take over more, and so they kind of switched the formatting. But that's what it is. That's how I developed the book title, as a tribute to the song by Smokey Robinson, also the genre and the radio format, but the evolution of R&B groups specifically has been a quiet storm because no one is talking about it and no one realizes it. And then all of a sudden when they read up, they're like, you know what, you're right. So I think the title has 2 or 3 different meanings all wrapped in one.
When it first started, it was just the summer. And then I think later on it would open on some weekends, maybe in early spring, in the fall, but it was when it first started, it was just summer.
It was worth coming to because it was so much freedom, and people would be sitting all around up on the hills and things. You got the baseball field be sitting down in the middle, and then you got your dance floor here. So a lot of people watching the dance floor, then other people watching the baseball game. Then you got everybody in the world in the pool, you know. So you got, I mean, it was all around. It was the best thing that I think would happen for black people.
It was real nice. We thought it was real nice because they had changing room, great big old changing room for the boys, a great big changing room for the girls, and some of the best. The music sound better at the park than it did anywhere.
Prior to its opening, Southern black folks didn't have much to look forward to outside of their homes, work, and church.
We really didn't have anything to do as a community except go to church. And at that time, the church that I attended only was having service once a month. And then my grandmama was a member of the Methodist church. I would go to her church once a month.
And I can't remember anything we really did up until that point because we mostly just played around the house and did the little things that we do at home. But as far as being entertained or having fun or anything, there was nothing for us to do.
On the weekend, the only thing Black had then was like say they come to your house.
Yeah.
And my daddy, we had a big house sitting down there in front of the house with Tyson and that. And Dad would cut half. Dad be cutting half and all guys be around, they be selling liquor, you know. Sold liquor, that's where they had to make it.
Plenty of liquor
See,
sold
and then you may kill a hog and barbecue that hog, you know, to raise money because the Black didn't have no good jobs. You see, didn't have no good job, and then you had to raise your children, and then all here where the house over there, all back, you know, going back that way, you could see nothing but corn and peas and cotton.
There had to be some playlists in here.
Absolutely.
Because you were talking about a lot of good groups.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know I can only imagine how hard that was to narrow down to know which groups to put in this book. Like, what was that process to be like, I can't mention them. I can't mention this part. You know,
we let the numbers kind of speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And if there was a lot, I had put some of them in honorable mention. Like I had to mention Mint Condition. They might not have had the Billboard hits because they were really a niche group, and they might not have had the Grammy wins, but they are very, very important. So I put them in, you know, and all the other groups I put in. And then I just discovered a lot of shocking facts while I was doing the research. Like the Jackson 5, they changed their name to the Jacksons, never won a Grammy.
Which
that was shocking.
Crazy.
That was crazy. In Vogue never had a #1 hit. They always came in second. So just all these facts based on the statistics that were very shocking too.
And I think even Frankie Beverly and Maze.
I know, but I had to put them in there. That's why actually for their chapter, I put,
and
this
I
is
love
their hits. This is their hits that were on the R&B charts because they didn't really chart that well in the big charts, but they were so important. They are so important to like the African American community that I had to include them. I had to tell the story. And that's why that's the only chapter. That's another Easter egg. That's the only chapter where I use the R&B charts compared for their hits as well. And now it might have changed since he passed away, but they only had gold albums. They never had a platinum album. All the albums they released, they only had a gold album.
Rockin' with the Deuce was a Saturday morning program that came on from 9 until 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. Back in the day, it was Channel 28, or when they eventually changed to Channel 9. It was on WTBM, and the Deuce, Rudy Rutherford, was the MC of Rockin' with the Deuce. And what he would do, he was a celebrity with us. He used to be on from 3 until 6 in the afternoon sometimes. He'd come on and he'd Luka-poo and how you do and later Gator got a split, gotta go, yeah, and those kind of raps he brought to the city back in those days.
Most of the dancing we did there was from that TV show. And those guys, they had a bunch of guys that had a little group of dancers that danced on TV every Saturday morning. And there were times that they would come up to Matt Miller Park and they would dance.
We would go out and pull guys or girls or whatever to the stage, and you know, we sing to them and stuff. And, you know, like Out of Sight with James Brown, and Try Me with James Brown. Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, I Feel Good. All those songs that were historic songs back in those days. They'll make you get up and dance.
Was the crowd like this?
Packed. Real packed.
Yeah.
Then we would play the hit songs back in the day, like in the 60s. Monkey Time by Major Lance. We did The Impressions. Well, Impressions is I'm just Will Winner. Will Winner back in those days. Keep on Pushing, The Impressions. For Your Precious Love, Jerry Butler. And we did a lot of those kind of songs. We did a lot of hip hop songs. The hit songs was back in the day like Johnny Taylor.
Okay.
Who's Making Love to Your Lady While You Out Making Love. Jody Got Your Girl and Gone. Ain't no sense of going home. Go home, take on your love bones. And a lot of those songs that were 60s going into the early 70s were those smooth soul songs that you can't get anymore now.
But just as it grew in popularity, the park also created a stir of controversy as well.
In 1964, the blacks decided, not the local blacks, blacks from Atlanta and everything decided they wanted to go to Callaway Garden. They wanted to go to the beach at Callaway Garden. Girl, it ain't never been that many helicopters with State Patrol there to meet the blacks that was trying to get in. And nobody talk about it though. But it happened.
I imagine it happened more than once, not just once. I
Not just
imagine it happened because there were some buses that came out of Atlanta that probably really didn't know the area.
Yeah.
And stopped at the first place that they saw people. And a big, big recreation area. But you were turned away. There wasn't no doubt about that. If you tried to enter, you was going to be turned away. Yeah. They were not going to let you in now.
Like, not at all.
Got where a lot of the white people was going to start coming over there because they were using they liked the pool, and they had a lot of room for them to stretch out on that to be hot because like we got our up there where we had the parking lot at, that hill there was like run from all the way down from the pool all the way up to the road, and it was like a bank. And you could lay on that bank up there all the way around. I mean, you could do it all the way around the ball field. And you could really just sit up there and fish. They want to get one up, Yeah. I mean, that's what they did, They got her. I guess they figured they keep all that from starting because some of them couldn't really afford to go up there. So
the mission to Matt Miller Park during the week was a dime. And on Saturday and Sunday, it was a quarter of 50 and 50 cents, depending on your age. The price was $3 or $4 higher at Callaway at the beach. And that was the reason they closed it, because the white kids started coming out. Matt Miller Park was to keep them separated, the whites from the blacks.
Priests and priestesses,
right,
who were authorities in terms of dealing with sound. That's primarily how they healed people. If you had a certain disease or a particular ailment, or you were under some sort of sickness, they could identify the vibration and the frequency that you were on. Was it high? Was it low? Was it in between? And they can determine by using certain sounds to restore the vitality of your health. You find it to be very, 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 very intriguing. And that's why it's so important to be very conscious about the kind of music that's created, and even more so the kind of music that you listen to. Because you can create music that can be very healing, but you can also create music that can be very disturbing.
Right. It can actually bring things to you or in you or...
Exactly.
But that's how they're doing it, is because they understand that the concept... Well, or maybe sometimes people don't understand how powerful the frequency they created.
Right. And you can measure the frequency by knowing the vibration of your birthday, the month, the day, and the year that you were born, will inform us to the certain vibration that is your life plan or your destiny or your path of life in this world. Also, you can find out a great deal from your name, because even Pythagoras found out that every letter, it does not matter what alphabet that you use.
Right.
Okay? It can be a Greek alphabet, it can be an English alphabet, it can be a Spanish alphabet. Anywhere.
Right.
There's a particular vibration that each letter carries. Every time that we speak or utter a word, we are creating a vibration.
So that's why they say like the power of the tongue, or watch what you say, or mean what you say, because
exactly.
What for you was the most impactful, you say, happened to the group? Of trying to answer that question.
So there's 5 particularly different reasons. You have the Telecommunications Act of 1996.
Right.
You have the emergence of hip hop, the emergence of EDM music, so it kind of pushed the genre away. You have the music recession of 2008 to 2013. And then you have the disappearance of African American media. And I think that's the one that people don't realize what happened. But like, let's just take, you have Ebony Magazine, Essence Magazine, Jet Magazine, and Vibe. At their peak, they probably had about 8,300,000 monthly subscribers. After you get through mid to late, probably, I think I did the research, 2019, they only had 850,000, and Essence was the only magazine that was pretty much still in print version. The rest had digital version, but it's not the same. So you lose all those magazines. Then, if you remember, growing up, we had the Arsenio Hall show. That was a primary way for groups to get earned media. So Arsenio Hall show, that goes away like May 19th, 1994, 95. 8 days later, In Living Color, that show, another variety show that had groups to perform, was canceled. No more. I need to check the dates. But then you have Soul Train. That was where groups would go to play and everything. That also goes away in its format. So you lose all these different earned media opportunities, and it just continued to hurt our group specifically because they just had less, they were just less in the public eye, which means less eyes on them, less sales. That's the one that really people might not realize. But then once we're talking about it, you're like, you know what, you're right. These magazines go away, and it just really hurt the groups.
What does that great step back look for you guys? Like, what does it look like to take care of yourself, to love on yourself?
Drink water and mind my business.
That
and that
heavy on the mind my business. But I like to do like a mental self-check-in with myself.
Okay.
You know, because sometimes I feel like we as Black women, we get lost being the mom, the sister, the this, the that. Like, we have no time to actually just be Beverly or just Sarah. Like, what does Sarah want to do today? So I've been making sure that I do like a mental check-in, or either I do like a self-care day like once a quarter. So even if I got a call out of work, whatever the case may be, I'm going to do what I want to do that day. Even if I would just want to lay in the bed and cry, eat ice cream all day, I'm going to do it.
Right.
Girl, that sound like fun. I ain't even hold you.
and Beverly, I'm actually gonna. Oh, would you finish? I'm sorry.
Oh no, what were you saying, sweetie?
I was gonna actually piggyback off of you, because I love that you said that, as women we kind of fall into those titles of like mom, and I, even though I'm not a mom yet, I definitely like feel that, because we fall into not only titles of like mom and wife, but also like whatever our job titles are. Funny, I was just having a conversation with my mama, and I had to tell her, you got to make time to be who you are as an individual. I said, because before you were mama, wife, teacher, what have you, you were Cynthia.
Exactly.
In my life, like, I like to focus on, okay, who is Kristen? Because my job role and the stuff that I do, yeah, I love it, but it's not who I am. It is
the core you are at yourself.
Yeah. So for me, my self-care looks like making room for things that give me joy. Because like right now, I know in my personal life I'm caring a lot, because I'm in school. Calculus is kicking my tail. Whew. I ain't never knew numbers could be this complicated. But my self-care looks like one, like making room for joy. So like I said, look, 2 hours, that's all you're gonna do per day for reading. You're not gonna overwhelm yourself this semester. And I make time to like take care of my body and do the things that I know make me feel good. So if that's resting, I rest. If I want to go work out, because Lord knows we got to work these bones after 30, I go work out. If I want to get a glass of wine, I'm going to go do that. And recently I decided, okay, you know what? It's a little expensive, but I'm going to do it because I want to and I like it. I decided to reserve a spot for the supper club in April. And I said, you know what? That 195 a little steep, but baby, I'm gonna enjoy it. So that's what my self-care looks like. It's focusing on the things that I know are gonna build me and keep me whole as a person.
For me, it's a woman or any film presenting person who interacts with men. Like, what is this urge about being the hero?
I do believe that the hero is just something that naturally we just strive towards as men. And like, you said it really dates back to just how we were groomed growing up. Like just being just being able to save the day, like
Right.
and the cartoons that we watched even growing up, with the women, the damsel in distress, and we have to save, and the kid who is stuck in a tree, and a cat or a kid, I don't know. Yeah, like, and we have to go up
Seen
and
the
save.
cartoons,
Right. All of that is just I just feel like we have to do something, and especially as black men, like we put in even more effort to, I feel like, to protect our children, and we have to prepare them but also protect them at the same time from just the various social disparities that our kids face. I think it's just been ingrained in us to just be the hero. They financially make sure everyone is good, even like a spiritual level, to just be the savior of the day. Yeah.
Because the head of household.
Yeah.
It trickles down because you set the tone in a way.
Yeah. And so again.
So what does that say if you can't set that tone?
Right. Exactly. It says that, oh, I'm probably not doing enough, And so I'm really trying to help black men and black boys realize that, also being a hero is, trying to save yourself as well.
Know your body so well, and you've explored it, and you've created this feeling that you know you like and you enjoy, then you can attract that to yourself because you know what you're looking for. Yeah. But you can't attract something that you don't even know you want. And if you're like me and you're wanting to have a healthy, sensual, it doesn't have to be sexual, but whatever, intimate relationship, you want to draw that type of energy towards yourself. And although I am single, it doesn't mean that I don't explore. Right. And I have a beautiful soul that I spend time with, and he is neurodivergent. And so I'm bringing this up because I think it too is very relevant. That does affect, with their ability when it comes to understanding communication, social cues. Yes, that's big. All touch. Of that. Yeah. And most people that are neurodivergent are touch deprived because people don't know how to respond to them. They think that, okay, you have this, this process that you do. You might do this 3 times. You might, you might have a sensitivity to sound. The sensitivity, So you have all those things. So some people don't even want to get intimate enough with you to understand that is not a problem that's going to stop your world just because you have that. Everybody's got different quirks and things that they might do. But, when if that person has not been touched in a long period of time, then it's like they respond just like people who are not neurodivergent. They get violent, they can get angry, they can get depressed, all of that. And so what I found, and the reason why we started hanging out, was because I never experienced spending quality time with someone like that. And so it was, it's kind of like that. We live in the same building, we just getting to know each other, exploring. Well, guess what? I invited him over for a massage one day. I gave him a massage, Lord have mercy. If this person, I mean, when he was around his family, they could see immediately that something had happened that changed him. They could see in his behavior how calm and relaxed he was. And I'm gonna say it, I'm honest, and I'm always one who is open to share.
This is an open space. I make safe spaces for openness.
Yes, yes.
I'm here
but
for
I can
it.
say that this gentleman had not had touch in years.
Yeah.
And when he got the massage, and especially in his head and his scalp, when I did that part, I mean, he went to sleep, just like people tend to do on my table. But the other thing was he just felt so relaxed. He didn't know how to really respond to it.
Yeah.
Of course, you both know that it's patriarchy.
Right, exactly, right.
And my theory is that, we don't talk about how that system of patriarchy really does affect men.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a correlation between that and what you're seeing in mental health, or?
Oh, of course. Of course. And that belief is just, it could be just so internal and rooted within us that we feel like, we even have to question our manhood at times when, we can't protect or be the hero to save our family.
Right.
And so what my job as a therapist is to help challenge that a bit and to help men understand that they are complex beings.
Yeah.
We're feeling this too.
Right.
And we have to create space for us to, feel and process everything that's going on. And to, just also understand that we're just not going to save every situation.
Save everybody.
Yeah. It is challenging because I do, see a lot of men, just really questioning, well, what else there is to just being a man if I can't just fully protect my family right now, if I don't have control. But it's okay to just, kind of roll with it, as much as you can.
I don't know how to do it. Why you want me to do this? And all suppositions begin to appear in their mind. Doubt, worry, concern. These are all ingredients that are part of fear.
Right.
Okay? Fear is what shuts you down. It shuts you down mentally. It shuts you down emotionally. It can even shut you down physically if you think in fear, because fear creates the darkness in the mind. And if the mind is darkened, the mind does not function well.
Right. So kind of like when we talk about, like, for instance, like people living in trauma responses, or they're living in survival mode.
Right.
It's hard to make sound decisions or choices, or even think, if you're kind of stuck in that.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because the basis of the number 7 is thinking. You can think your way into a beautiful existence, but just merely thinking about what it is that you want of yourself, from yourself, out of life. This is number 7. This is the beautiful thing about having knowledge. 7 is the basis of knowledge. 7 is the basis of all educational institutions in this world.
So that's why everybody kept telling me I need to be a teacher.
Right.
Okay.
You could excel very well in the educational field.
I asked them to think about why and leave it alone so that they can meditate on it. Maybe go somewhere quiet and just, ask yourself, I wonder why I hate touch. And if you just really, I know the body is intelligent like that. If you ask the body a question, if it can have a yes or no answer, the body will respond to it. And that's through kinesiology. But that happens to be another thing that I practice. But if a therapist or practitioner or somebody that did kinesiology were to ask the body, you don't have to say it in words. Have I experienced touch trauma? Have I been abused through touch? And we can do muscle testing and it'll tell you whether the answer is yes or no.
Right.
That's deep.
Yeah.
But if you find that you have, then that's when the process to really experiencing healing occurs because you can't heal something that you don't address or even acknowledge that it happened.
Right.
So the question is something that allows a person to just surge in their back of their mind, and then with added information that is going to give them real scientific explanations and information about this whole process, maybe at that point the person will become open to at least trying and then experiencing, because when you experience it, you know automatically this is good for me.
This is good.
You know?
Right.
It's almost like medicine.
It really is. Because you really don't understand until it's another way of really connecting with your body and being in your body, being present, which is the goal of healing is supposed to do with you. And that leads me to, well, now you're open. And so now you want to go about dealing the healing of touch and understanding how that goes. So what are those basic ways of touch?
Yeah. Well, first thing about connection is, your atmosphere and environment that you're in and stuff. So I really teach people about creating a space for touch. You talked about being present. Yeah. That whole mindfulness thing. If you've got a lot of distractions and things going on around you, you really can't be present with yourself or with a partner. So I really help people in my classes to understand that as an initial thing that they have to check in with. You got to be committed to this thing.
Yeah.
So that means no phone can be ringing and all these kind of things. You can't have negative smells, nasty smells around you. You've got to have some positive aroma, something that really soothes you and smells good and that's not irritating. Those things kind of take away the distractions so that you can be open.
This season has been about me exploring like what saving means in different capacities, because I think a lot of times we just hear about it being like this strong Black woman, but sometimes you can save people by being their scapegoat. And that's one thing that I've been learning, like in my family, like people come to me because I'm very empathetic and they unload all their things on me because I'm a Black woman, but I'm a Black woman with a disability. And so people in society find a person who's like up under them in the hierarchy, how they perceive it, and they want to dump all their stuff there. And so sometimes we have to reevaluate our roles in like the situations that we're in, the relationships that we're in, and we have to reevaluate what saving looks like and make people responsible for their own healings. And so in my experience, it's just creating that distance. And I really like what Beverly said and Kristen said, because I've been saying like all the relationships in my life are like a waterfall. And I mean like one of the ones that you get in your house and you put the water in and it recycles that same water over and over. That's how I want my relationships to be. I want them to be reciprocal and healing. I want people to pour into me. I'm pouring into them and it gives me energy and it gives them energy. So it's like self-sustaining in a way. And I really like the idea of being a pearl because they're adding to you over and over again. And it's adding instead of stripping you. Because as Black women, a lot of times people want to strip us down. And something I said recently is like, you can't complain, but people don't understand like our complaining is venting. It really is. And sometimes as a Black woman, you could feel like you're drowning and people don't even want to hear your gurgles. They don't want to even hear your finger snaps.
Because you're supposed to figure out to save yourself. Amber is the bar.
Yeah. Or if you do complain, or if you do say something, it's you're an angry Black woman. That pisses me off more than anything.
And I'm like, right now I'm just blowing off steam, but angry? I'm not trying to do that.
Because that pisses me off more than anything, because it's okay for little Nikki over here to say what she got to say, and it's fine. But as soon as I say something, you're an angry Black woman.
Look, and it's deemed passionate. It's deemed,
right.
I've learned not to
any other synonym but that. Yeah.
I've learned to embrace that word angry because I'm like, you know what?
Exactly.
I'm
I was
angry,
just gonna say that.
and there's a lot to be mad about. Matter of fact, I ain't angry. I'm pissed off.
Right. The hell off.
Right. I'm pissed the hell off. So you know what? I'm angry. I'm Black, and I'm sure is a woman. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, y'all. I love my friends, y'all. Love them. But just listening to all of those, man, I really did a lot. I put in some work to get all those amazing professionals and individuals together. Like, I'll be honest, I'm in awe of myself just to see what authenticity really brings to the table. I mean, even you saw the beautiful nuggets of Mac Miller Park, which still to this day for me is my pride and joy of Soul Vibrant. Hearing those elders share those stories and them trusting me with those stories will forever have a special place in my heart. That truly was a labor of love. Every episode was, all of those. So shout out to everybody who trusted me to carry their voice, to carry their message, to allow me to use your expertise and show people and open them up to different perspectives and learning and ways to look within life and to be within life. And what is equally amazing about that is the work, the energy, the time, the effort did pay off, because I could smile and say that it got me to be award winning. Oh man, that moment that I found out that I won Best News and Entertainment Podcaster still is fresh as if it happened yesterday. Matter of fact, let's check that moment out so y'all can hear it here first. If you haven't heard it yet, listen to this.
Let's announce the Women Podcasters Award for the Best News and Entertainment Podcaster. And the winner of the Best News and Entertainment Podcaster Award is, from the Soul Vibrant podcast, Lady AC.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much to everybody. I really shout out to everybody who's been nominated, who has really poured their self into this. I know definitely with me as a journalist, I really poured myself into telling our stories, into our communities, into what's going on in this crazy world that we got going on right now. So continue to uplift people, but also telling the truth, willing to fight. And oh my God, I'm so proud of myself because because it just lets me know to keep going and I'm doing the right thing. So thank you so much, women podcasters. Thank you.
So you should be. Congratulations. That's fantastic.
Oh, y'all, can I be honest with y'all about that moment in the background? I remember being so shocked because for one, the bad connection, nobody told me my connection was that bad. Because I was rushing and trying to make sure, my makeup was done for the video and that I had to be in a secluded place because, just give you guys a background with that. So with a lot of these award shows, especially if they're pre-recorded, they're done on days previous. So you have to kind of keep it secret until they do the official release. So I couldn't be in the open space where I normally record, so because I didn't want anybody to hear, because it was supposed to be quiet, right? So I tried to go to the library and I rented a room and all this stuff, only for me to get in the far end with the worst connection possible. So when I log on, right before they announced the category I was in, so as soon as I logged in, I'm like, oh wait, they're already in the middle of it. And then the category came right up. But it all paid out so well. And everything I said in there, I still feel, still believe. Of course, just I'm proud of myself. I am looking forward to just continuing to bet on myself and going forward. And there are definitely more awards out there I want to take a chance at and go for. Of course, last week's episode, I admit that one of those awards I didn't get, but I still feel that makes more room and opens more doors. Once again, a redirection to a better yes, to a bigger yes, to a grander platform. So when that moment comes, I'm going to be ready, honey. But that's the goal anyway. Because Mac Miller Park was just the beginning. There are so many more stories, especially Black historical stories and other areas I want to talk about and learn and explore and expose people to. So I look forward to doing more documentary kind of episodes. Maybe even getting to the interactive stories, because I feel there are a lot of more stories that need to be told too. There are a lot more lived experiences and make us feel seen and make us feel heard. And honestly, entertain us too and fulfill the needs that we need to be met to, enjoy pleasure, to enjoy life, to laugh sometimes, to feel something sometimes, because this world is trying so hard to make us do the exact opposite. And we can't let them win. We can't afford that at all. We have to fight back in the ways we know how. One thing I learned about being Black all these years is, honey, our joy is revolutionary. So I want to keep that joy going. So thank you so much to all of you, my amazing listeners, for riding with your girl. Especially if you're coming and been following me since my radio journey. You just don't know how much your energy means to me. I want to close out today's show doing something that I did. Back on my radio show, I had a song that signaled that it was the end of my show and it was closing time, basically. And the next show was coming up after me. And I would always introduce it by saying, I would not be here without having you here, which is true. So this is the Mississippi Mass Choir with the High Complexity remix of Having You Here. Oh man, y'all did a little jig with that, didn't you? I know I did. But yes, y'all, yes. On that note, of course, if you want to connect with me, I am on all social medias. Facebook.com is Queen Lady AC. On Instagram and Threads, it's _I am Lady AC. On Substack, it is Lady AC. And on X and or Twitter, it is capital I am Lady AC. Wanting to be healthy, wanting to be consistent, I have to take care of myself. So I will be going on a little bit of a health sabbatical in a sense, but definitely by the holiday season. My goal is by at least Thanksgiving season, but depending on how, much healing I need, because it's dealing with, more health issues and dealing with that, I'll be back around that time. But if you don't hear from me, I'll definitely be back by the first week of December. So, till then, y'all, have a great weekend. Enjoy this month of November the best way you can. Continue to take care of yourselves. Let's continue to take care of each other. Let's make sure we have this food together, this information together, these resources together. Because guess what? We got us. Because we all we got. All right. Love you.